Morning, everyone.
Morning.
We haven't gotten a good look yet. We have two manatees in front of us, mother and a baby. My name is Lauren. I'll be your first mate today. At the helm, we have our very own Captain Mary Pat. How about a round of applause for her? We'll be your guides today as we take you on a journey exploring the magical waterways of our Weeki River.
Yay.
However, before we begin, there are a few safety guidelines we need to go over. All personal flotation devices are located in the large white boxes in front of you and behind you. Please note that these flotation devices have been provided for you at no additional cost. You're welcome. If we were to use our personal flotation devices, we ask that you listen carefully to the following directions. Place your head through the hole, secure the straps around your waist, and place the buckle in front of you, and remain calm as we walk to shore. We kindly ask that all passengers refrain from dangling your hands, children, husbands, or wives overboard. And please remain seated at all times during our journey, as this will give our captain a clear view to steer the boat. Weeki was named by the Seminole Indians, means little spring and winding river. Weeki Springs is an outlet of a huge underground river. The spring measures 100 feet across at the surface and has been explored to depths of 400 feet and distances greater than 3,500 feet. Yet the spring is so deep that the bottom has never been found.
Look how clear it is.
The spring head is actually located at our Mermaid Theater that you may see later today. The fast-moving current of this river is created by the large amount of water
we have those on the
flowing
pond all
from
the time.
Weeki River spring head. It's
When it gets its
estimated
wings
that
wet,
over
it does that because
gallons
get
of
it,
fresh water flows
sun's
from
gotta
the
dry
main
its
spring
wings out.
daily.
I see.
we have one on the pond all the time.
We have an Anhinga to the right over here, near the vegetation, drying its wings. The Anhinga is also known as the snake bird, because sometimes they get confused for snakes when they're swimming in the water. They actually swim better than they can fly. That's right, in Florida we have birds that dive and fish that fly. That's the Anhinga. Springheads are the most common place in which water is released from the Florida Aquifer. The Florida Aquifer is a limestone layer that runs deep underground and holds much of Florida's groundwater. Weeki Springs is a first magnitude spring. What constitutes a first magnitude spring, you ask? Good question. One of the ways that springs are classified is by the volume of water they discharge. The largest springs are called first magnitude, meaning they discharge at least 100 cubic feet of water per second, or about 64.6 million gallons per day. Weeki Springs is ranked number 30 out of all the first magnitude springs in the state of Florida. However, we are currently the deepest. The Weeki River provides a refuge for a variety of our wildlife. This includes bald eagles, wood ducks, yellow-belly slider turtles, alligators, several fish species, just to name a few. And let's not forget our most famous, mermaids. Not many state parks can say that one. Now, if you look on either side of the vessel, you won't see a mermaid. However, you will see several gray fish. These fish are called mullet. The mullet are a family of ray-finned fish, and they can be found worldwide in coastal, temperate, and tropical waters. Mullet have served as an important source of food in Mediterranean Europe since Roman times. Did you know that the mullet family includes about 78 different types of species? The most common behavior in mullet are their tendency to leap straight out of the water. The reason for this is they're either trying to escape a predator or to get more oxygen-rich air. They're bottom feeders, so sometimes they get mud or algae stuck in their gills too, so that's sort of like a fish blowing its nose when the mullet jump out of the water. Another type of fish you may see here is called sheephead.
How big that eagle is?
Sheephead is a black striped fish. black and silver striped fish. This fish commonly reaches anywhere from 10 to 20 inches. The sheephead fish is a flat fish that's commonly found in North and South America. It usually weighs around 21 pounds, and they can be found from Cape Cod to Florida, with the largest concentration of sheephead fish found right here in Florida. One of the most striking characteristics of the sheephead fish are its teeth, which are amazingly similar to human teeth, which is also kind of weird, right? Most of our guests that are visiting Florida know 3 things for sure about our wonderful state. Tropical weather, beautiful beaches, and Weeki Wachee Springs is now your favorite state park, right? Right. And let's not forget about alligators. A lot of people ask us about alligators, and it is possible to see them here, but unlikely because they tend to like murky, brackish water because they're ambush predators. There are 2 species of alligators, the American alligator and the Chinese alligator. The word alligator comes from the Spanish word for lizard.
Mailman, got your
Alligators
mail
can grow
here.
up to 800 pounds and 13 feet long on the average. Females have a tendency to be a little smaller than the males. According to the Everglades National Park, the largest alligator ever recorded measured 17 feet and 5 inches. Alligators eat primarily fish, birds, turtles, and other reptiles. And if the alligator is big enough, it will eat larger prey such as deer, bear, and even other alligators. Good thing that the alligators are allergic to our mermaids. Now, as we're rounding the bend here, you may see a group of pine trees just up ahead of us. They're very tall trees, and sometimes we see our resident bald eagles there. Their names are George and Martha, and they've been with us here on the Weeki Wachee River for about 6 years. So as we're rounding the bend here, be sure to take a look. They're usually on the far right pine tree. The bald eagle is a symbol of the United States, and Florida has one of the largest concentration of bald eagles in the lower 48 states. We're actually ranked number 2 for concentration of bald eagles. Can anyone guess what the number 1 state is?
See him on the tree?
Alaska.
Alaska. Good job in the front there. There's also an osprey on the dead tree in front of us, so be sure to take a look at the osprey too. They're almost as big as bald eagles. Funny story about ospreys is when they're courting, the male will start building the nest, and the female osprey will scream at the male until the nest meets her requirements. And once it's up to par to her standards, she'll move in and they'll mate for life. I tell you what, those nests will withstand hurricanes when everything else is gone. I don't see our eagles up there today, but they may be out fishing. While bald eagles are no longer listed in the Endangered Species Act, they are protected by both state and federal laws. These majestic creatures are in fact not bald. They came from an older meaning of the word white-headed. The adult is mainly brown with a white head and tail, and both the male and female bald eagles appear identical, but the females are about 25% larger than the males. The bald eagle is an opportunistic feeder, and their diet consists mainly of fish. Bald eagles swoop down and snatch the fish from the water with their sharp talons, not giving the fish much of a chance to survive. In Florida, nesting habitats often consist of mangrove swamps, shorelines of lakes, and of course right here on our Weeki Wachee River. Bald eagle nests are often very large in order to compensate for the size of the birds. The largest recorded nest was found right here in Florida in 1963. It measured nearly 10 feet wide and 20 feet deep, much larger than your typical New York apartment. straight in front of us here, we have Monkey Island. Many years ago, they filmed a movie called Tarzan here, and they had some production monkeys on this island.
Okay.
Right here. Also on either side of the river here, you can see arrow-shaped leaves. That's called elephant ears, which is another one of the manatees' favorite foods. Coming up ahead of us here, you'll see a cypress tree in the water. It's estimated to be about 100 years old. They only grow about an inch a year. And a lot of them tend to have Spanish moss on them, but it doesn't hurt the trees at all. They coexist just fine. Also known as the swamp cypress. They're native to the swampy areas of North America. Bald cypress wood is valued for being water resistant. They're long-lived and slow-growing old trees and are usually hollow. We have lots of bald cypress trees here, some of them over 500 years old. If trees could talk, right? As they mature, they develop a coarse white head. Its tapering trunk measures about 100 feet tall, and the roots, also known as cypress knees, can be found above the waterline. The presumed function of the cypress knees is still poorly understood, although they may help oxygenate the roots or provide support in soft, muddy soil. As you all have been taking in the sights, you may have noticed the long, flat blades of grass in the river here. This type of grass is called eelgrass or tape grass. This aquatic vegetation can be found in lakes and beds and flowing streams and rivers. Eelgrass produces a strong food chain to many of the aquatic life here, such as fish and our gentle giants, the manatees. There are 3 species of manatee: the Amazonian manatee, the West Indian manatee, and the American manatee. Did you know that manatees are also known as sea cows? The name is due to their large stature and slow nature. However, despite the name, they're more commonly related to the elephant. They may seem like cumbersome creatures, however manatees can swim just as quickly and gracefully as our mermaids. Manatees range in size anywhere from 8 to 13 feet, and some manatees can weigh up to 1,300 pounds. Good thing they have the large and strong tails that power their swimming. They can also swim up to 15 miles per hour in short bursts when they feel the need for speed. The average 1,000-pound manatee eats 10% of its body weight per day, so that would be 100 pounds of food. That's like several bathtubs full of spinach. Or as one captain likes to say, that's a lot of salad and no salad dressing. Coming up on the left over here, you'll see Parker's Landing, which is part of an environmental school for children. And they painted a signboard that shows the wingspans of several different types of birds, so be sure to take a look as we pass by. You can see just how big a bald eagle's wingspan is, about 8 feet across. That would be Martha here, who's 25% bigger than the male. And you can also see the wingspans of vultures, ospreys, owls, and more. If you ever decide to come kayaking here, the ramp is just around the corner here near the wave runner up there. And it's about a 2-hour kayak trip down the river, about 3 to 4 miles. Very enjoyable experience. They definitely require reservations though, so let them know when you want to go. It's about 7.5 miles from our spring head at the Mermaid Theater all the way to the Gulf.
No.
In addition to the cypress trees here, you can also see live oak trees. They have that name because they don't lose their leaves like most other oak trees. So they appear to look alive year-round. They typically have Spanish moss on them too.
That's fun to do.
Mailman, got your mail here.
On the edges. Purple and the red. And
That's
yellow.
called Florida Jasmine, the yellow flowers. They're very pretty, aren't they?
Yes. The purple is in here.
And the sort of pink-looking flowers to the right here is called fleabane daisy. You can also see the holly bushes here.
Yeah.
The red berries on the bushes, that's holly. That's right, we get a holly jolly Christmas here on the Weeki River. Let's talk about the Anhinga. The Anhinga is a large bird found all over the world in warm, shallow waters. The males usually have a glossy black back and blue-green wings and a black and blue tail. The tip of the tail has white feathers. The back of the head and the neck have elongated feathers that
there's a
have
lot
been
of them.
described as gray or purple and white. The female Anhinga is similar to the male, except it's pale gray and light brown in color, a little more camouflaged. Anhingas swim with their webbed feet and pursue their prey underwater. Although they don't have as much oil on their feathers as other birds do, which helps them to swim better. But they also have to dry out their feathers longer. So you'll often see them on shorelines and dock pilings drying out their feathers. As we're passing the vegetation on the left here, be sure to keep an eye out for yellow-bellied slider turtles. They are the most common turtles found in Florida. They also like to sit on that log sticking out ahead of us. Yellow-bellied slider turtles are found in a wide variety of habitats, including slow-moving rivers, floodplain swamps, marshes, wetlands, and permanent ponds. The adult male yellow-bellied slider can reach anywhere between 5 to 9 inches in length, and the females range from 13 to 18 inches in length. The upper shell is typically brown and black, often with yellow stripes. The skin is olive green with prominent patches of yellow down the neck and legs. The bottom of the shell is mostly yellow with black spots along the edges. And the yellow-bellied slider turtle often has S-shaped yellow stripe on its face. They also have markings shaped like question marks on their bellies. There's another Anhinga there drying its feathers. Looks like the turtles may be out swimming right now. Sometimes you can see them in the water. So always keep your eyes on the water and along the vegetation around us. You never know what you'll see. But the yellow-bellied slider turtles mainly feed in the morning and frequently bask in the sun the rest of the day. At night they sleep on the bottom and surface near the brush. Do y'all have any questions about the wildlife or vegetation here? Well, we at Weekiwachi Springs State Park would like to thank you all so much for taking your time out today to enjoy the real Florida with us. Weekiwachi provides a natural environment for many of Florida's wildlife. We hope you take the time to explore all of our Florida state parks. Thank you again for joining us, and how about on another round of applause for Captain Mary Pat. We just ask that you please remain seated until we get safely tied up to the dock. Thank you.
I would get there early if you want to get good seats. They're still over there. Okay, thanks.
Has this always been a state park? Has this always been a state park?
No, it was a private park at
Yeah.
one time.
Yeah, I know
and it
36
was
years ago we
started
was
by
here.
a naval diver who retired, and he designed the whole mermaid theater concept.
It was a glass bottom boat when we was here.
That's right.
In 1947, Duke Perry, he was a Navy frogman in World War II. He started this attraction, and at the time, the Mermaid Theater could only fit 10 people.
Yeah.
And so it's developed a lot since then.
Yeah, yeah.
And I believe
Yeah.
it was the early 60s that they turned it into a park. Yeah,
Yeah, how the Elvis Presley was here too. Elvis Presley. You was here. I said,
He was?
yeah,
Really?
yeah. You was
Yeah,
here.
well, that-
Film a movie. A movie there. You went to the show. You went to the Mermaid show.
Really?
When he was designing the park here, he hired some underwater ballet performers called the Aquabells. That's what this boat is named after.